This magnificent estate is believed to be the birthplace of one of the most famous women in English history, and it was once voted the most haunted house in Britain. So where am I? Find out in just a moment.
On today's programme, a couple of recent retirees who are set to turn their rural dream into reality. At one of our properties, the outside space fails to impress.
It's possibly a little bit small for what I really want.
But at another, the kitchen cooks up a storm.
This is Wendy's kitchen.
It's lovely.
Today, I'm in Norfolk, and this is Blickling Hall, which sits on the estate where it's believed Anne Boleyn was born in the early 16th century. Now, Anne Boleyn had the misfortune of becoming Henry VIII's second wife, a marriage which was short-lived when he ordered her execution on May the 19th, 1536. More than 400 years later, on the anniversary of her death, it's said her headless ghost arrives here in a carriage driven by headless horses and a headless coachman. Later on in the show, I'll be back here to find out what really goes on behind the closed doors of this beautiful and historic Norfolk home.
Situated in the east of England, Norfolk is the country's fifth largest county, jutting out into the North Sea and bordered by Lincolnshire, Cambridgeshire and Suffolk. Famous for its big skies and flat, fertile landscapes, Norfolk's charm is remoteness. It's one of the few counties with no motorway. The northern coastline, stretching from Old Hunstanton in the west to Weybourne in the east, is an area of extraordinary beauty with a diverse range of habitats and makes up the North Norfolk Heritage Coast, a classification that affords it special protection. Along this coastline, a mile inland, is the pretty village of Cley next to the sea. It used to be much closer to the sea in the medieval period before land reclamation turned the busy harbour port into silty marshland. Today, though, the village, its windmill and magnificent marshes are a haven for tourists and birdlife. With all this unspoilt beauty on offer, it's easy to see why Norfolk is such a desirable county.
If you're thinking of your very own escape to the country, you might consider house hunting in Norfolk. At the moment, the average price of a detached property in England and Wales is just over £278,000. But here in Norfolk, that figure drops to £228,000, making homes in this lovely county incredible value for those seeking a rural retreat, which is great news for today's buyers. Let's meet them and find out exactly what they're looking for.
Retirees Wendy and Nigel recently sold their home in Radlett, Hertfordshire, and moved to this rented detached property in Swinton near Manchester to be closer to their daughter and grandchildren while they look for a house in the Norfolk countryside.
We're currently renting in Manchester, but it's not suitable for the long term. We find it really noisy, really busy. This is a nice house, but unfortunately, it's not for us.
Before he retired, Nigel was an art director in the advertising industry, and Wendy worked as a school welfare officer. They've been married for 42 years and met at the local disco.
We saw each other across a crowded room. Boom, boom. Do you remember your suit?
Oh, the safari suit.
Yeah.
That was good. I like the safari suit. Nice light blue safari suit and cravat. Perfect.
It was beautiful.
Wendy and Nigel now have 2 grown-up children, a son in Hertfordshire and a daughter in Manchester, as well as 4 grandchildren with whom they have close ties. It'll be a wrench leaving the family behind, but Wendy and Nigel have their hearts set on rural North Norfolk.
We like the coast
Yeah.
up there all along, basically from Hunstanton to Cromer, all along there. And we know it quite well because we've been going several times now over the years. Wendy has family in Sheringham. For us, possibly the move.
When they're not entertaining their visiting family, Wendy and Nigel hope to have more time for their hobbies.
In my spare time, I enjoy walking. Now I'm retired, I go back to doing a bit of painting. I think in Norfolk, it's big skies and you could really get your teeth into something up there. That would be nice, do a bit of painting. And my garden.
That's your big thing, your garden.
Yeah.
And while Nigel is tending to the plants, Wendy will be busy inside.
I like cooking. I like to cook for the kids when they come round. So I would be looking forward to them coming up to Norfolk so I can do loads of baking.
With their property already sold and their rented Manchester house a temporary arrangement, Wendy and Nigel are looking forward to finally settling down in the Norfolk countryside.
I think this move is very important for us now, and I think it will give us a new lease of life. It's a big adventure, and this is one moment, so bring it on.
Wendy and Nigel would like a property within driving distance of the thin strip of coast that makes up the North Norfolk Heritage coastline. I'm meeting up with our buyers in Norfolk to go over the details of their planned move.
Wendy and Nigel, hello, welcome to Norfolk.
Hello, hi.
Tell us why you both want to move to this beautiful county.
Exactly that, really. It's beautiful. It's lovely, it's peaceful. And we want to leave the hustle and bustle of where we lived before.
But of course, this means you are moving away from family and friends.
That is the sad part of it, but we're hoping very much that the children will come and visit us here as much as possible, as we say, because we have the seaside, we have the countryside, we'll have everything.
So we're going to have to make sure we find you somewhere that will fit the family.
Yes, please.
surely
Yes,
are.
please.
Now, you're both retired. Does that mean in the day you want enough space so that you're not on top of each other?
I need a good garden, a decent garden. That's my escape, that's my therapy. And if it's not, the garden isn't created, I'll create one. It's not a problem.
Really?
I'll
Okay,
design
great.
one. But a man shed. We need a man shed. Every man should have a shed.
So that's Nigel sorted with the garden. I should ask you about the house, Wendy, shouldn't I? What are you looking for in terms of style?
One thing we don't want is somewhere that's got very low ceilings, because as you can see,
I can see why.
Yeah.
You're both lovely and tall.
other than that, probably 3 bedrooms, 4 would be fab. I would love a big kitchen, a great kitchen.
So you're definitely not going to be on top of each other if you're retired. If he's in the garden, you're in your kitchen, it'll all be fine. This is the secret to a long marriage.
Yeah, it is. 42
That's why it's
years.
worked.
This is not bad.
Now, remind me of your budget. How much have we got to spend on this house?
400,000 is the maximum budget.
OK.
That's
He's
the
looked at me very sternly
No, if
with
we
the
had
word
more,
maximum.
yes, but it is 400.
OK, got the
Pounds.
message. £400,000 maximum budget.
Yep.
Well, you're in luck. We've got some lovely properties lined up for you. Are you ready to go?
Oh, big
Surely
time.
are.
Big
Let's
time.
go.
£400,000 is a decent budget for Norfolk, although the North Norfolk coast does attract premium prices due to its wealth of sandy beaches and strong second homes market. But we're hoping to find Wendy and Nigel a practical family home with 3 to 4 bedrooms for when their children and grandchildren come to stay. Wendy would like a large kitchen, and green-fingered Nigel wants a decent-sized garden and a man shed. We've lined up a fine selection of available properties for Wendy and Nigel to view here in Norfolk, but I won't be revealing the price of our choices until the end of the tour. Our mystery house signals the end of our house search and will challenge our buyers' priorities. For our first offering, we're heading to the village of Aylmerton, just over 7 miles from the start of the North Norfolk Heritage coastline. The pretty village is characterised by country lanes and traditional brick and flint cottages. Buildings of note include the parish church with its distinctive round tower and a rare circular pillbox built during the First World War, a time when Britain was perceived to be under threat from coastal invasion. Our first house is situated in the centre of this sought-after village.
That's quite a substantial
That
house,
looks
that is.
so lovely.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. And traditional.
Yeah.
You say traditional. It was actually built 10 years ago.
Okay.
So behind here, there are some converted barns, and the same person that converted those built this house in the same style. So it's got that Norfolk flint style.
Outside I like. So far, so good.
It's bigger than I thought it would be, that's for certain.
It's certainly a big house, but to fully appreciate how much house, we need to go inside.
Good initial reactions to our detached brick and flint family home. Although the frontage has classic Norfolk pedigree, the interior has a contemporary spacious feel which I think will appeal to our buyers.
It's a rather grand entrance, isn't it?
It's very unusual.
What do you think of this hallway / dining room?
Yes, it's not what I expected. It's a bit unusual to have the dining room as soon as you enter
Well, you don't need to
front
use
door,
this
but-
as a dining
No,
room.
no. You can use it how you want to use it.
Like it.
Should we go and see one of the rooms?
Yeah.
Into
Yeah,
the living room
please.
first.
This is a wood burner. Great.
Lovely.
Oh, that
Love like the fireplace.
Beautiful
Smashing.
fireplace.
A nice centrepiece to the room, and it's
Yeah.
triple aspect, so lots of
Lots
light.
of light.
Yeah.
I like that.
So is this the right size for the family? Because this is the main living
gosh.
room in the
Oh,
house.
this is
Yes,
fine.
yeah.
This is lovely.
It'll be plenty big enough.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah,
good.
keep going.
Let's see if the kitchen is to your liking.
Yes,
now.
please.
The rest of the ground floor rooms are arranged off that central hallway and include a good-sized study overlooking the front of the house and at the back, the kitchen.
So is this big enough for you?
That was going to be my question, because you don't seem as enthusiastic about this room as the other room.
I like it. Work surfaces, that's what I really want.
So you've got a utility here with all the appliances.
Lovely.
And the conservatory. I know it's got the washing machines in
What's-
there, but that's because
Yeah, what's
the
going on?
owner sort of runs a bit of a laundry business, so that's why
right
she's
from
got
here,
those there.
based
Yeah.
here.
So actually, a dining room table
Yeah.
could go in there.
Yeah, good.
So size-wise, okay?
Size-wise good? Enough room for you?
It's enough room for me.
Enough room for you.
Shall we see if the upstairs is?
Let's go.
Wendy and Nigel asked for 3 to 4 bedrooms, but they actually get 5 in this spacious property, arranged over 2 floors. On the second floor, off a mezzanine landing, are 2 bedrooms set in the eaves and with skylight windows. Both have ensuite shower rooms and would make excellent guest accommodation for their family. Back down on the first floor, there's a family bathroom and 3 further bedrooms, including a single and a good-sized double. And finally, the master.
Come into the master suite.
It's big.
That's nice.
Wow.
That's nice.
There's an ensuite just there and a separate dressing room, so that's why there's no cupboards in here. It's spacious. You don't need to worry about any of that in
Oh,
here.
that's
Okay.
great.
Both Wendy and Nigel seem to like the house and it gives them more than they asked for. But I'm mindful that Nigel spends a lot of time in the garden, and here he may have some work to do to make it his own. At the front, there's a small lawn area bordered by a fence, and at the back, a gravelled courtyard and a double garage, which has obvious man-shed potential.
Now, I must confess, I have been nervous about showing you this space because it's not really a garden, it's a courtyard.
Yes, it's fairly obviously not a garden. It is a courtyard.
You could landscape this and
You
turn it
could.
into a garden.
You could landscape it. It's possibly a little bit small for what I really want. I want a bit more space around the house, to tell you the truth.
So you've seen a lot of what's on offer. Who'd like to guess how much this house is on the market for?
I think it's right at the top of our budget, and maybe it's even a little bit more. 410.
OK.
OK, I think it's above. I'll go 420.
Because Nigel was so stern about the budget, I have stuck to it.
Oh, really?
It's actually on the market for £395,000.
Wow.
All right. So...
Dig this up.
Oh, that's it's 15,000 under.
The
That's good.
garden.
I know you love the house.
I like the house. Like the house a lot.
We have to think
We have
about
to
this
think
now.
about this space here, the outside
Yeah.
space.
Go and have a look at the rest of the house.
OK.
Now that you know the price, you can really assess it
Okie dokes.
and have a think about the garden.
OK.
And I'll meet you up front.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under budget by £5,000, our first property is a substantial brick and flint family home. Located in a pretty village not far from the coast, it gives Wendy and Nigel more than the number of bedrooms they wanted, a large enough kitchen, and a courtyard garden Nigel could put his stamp on.
I like the house very much. It's great for the family. I don't have to worry about, guys want to come down for the weekend, for how long. They've got a room. This is fabulous.
I think the house is a very substantial house. It's a handsome house, possibly a bit too big for us. For me, the only one downside is the outside, which is the garden. I'm a very enthusiastic amateur gardener, and I really would like to get my teeth into some space outside, and this really doesn't fulfill that brief.
It's a lovely house, isn't it?
It's a beautiful house.
Very
We just
nice.
have to work on Nigel.
I know.
Nigel spends plenty of time in the garden and knows a lot about horticulture, but he's probably never considered building a house from the mud under his feet. Comprising clay, sand and straw, cob is an age-old building material, first used in the British Isles in the 13th century. Partners Kate and Charlotte are cob enthusiasts and run workshops in how to build your own home using raw materials from the garden. They're going to show our buyers that building with cob needn't be mud, sweat and tears.
Wendy, Nigel, hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
You too. Welcome to our cob building
Thanks
workshop.
very much. How long have you been doing this for then?
Well, we've been here about 8 years, but we've been doing it around 10.
What made you get into cob building?
I was a sculptor originally, and when I discovered about 10 years ago that you could actually sculpt a house with mud, with your
Wow.
bare hands, I was like, that's my whole life sorted. I'm doing it.
Oh,
and then
amazing.
I met Charlotte a couple of years later.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never heard of cob building until I met Kate, and it really is all she ever talks about, so now I know a lot about it. This is where we live. Come and have a look. We'll show you a bit more.
Oh, how lovely. Yes.
Originally, when we came here, it was just this section. That's 400 years old. It's made of wattle and daub and mud bricks, clay lumps, which are a traditional Norfolk building method.
Yeah.
And then we more than doubled the house with this cob extension over here, built entirely with the mud from the garden.
Cob is easily the most eco-friendly of building materials as it can be dug up on site. It's also incredibly cheap. Kate and Charlotte's extension only cost £10,000. Modern cob houses have a couple of key features to ensure they last for generations.
They've all got their mud walls, and then to protect that mud, you have an overhanging roof. You build your mud wall on a stem wall made of brick or stone, that just keeps it off the ground, and then you finish the walls with a lime render. And if you do all those things, it really will last a lot longer than most conventional houses.
So is this actually the only thing you do, building houses with cob?
We do a lot of other things. We mainly teach people on this site to build houses. So we do 4-day courses where people can come and learn the skills, all the skills they need to build a house. But we also do 1-day courses in pizza ovens, which is what we're going to hopefully do with you today.
While Charlotte goes off to prepare the dough for the pizzas, Wendy and Nigel are going to help Kate mix up the components that make the cob. First step, rolling up their sleeves to gather some mushy clay from Kate's garden pit.
That's my bit. I got bit.
1 bucket of finest Norfolk clay is then mixed with 3 buckets of sandy gravel from the garden. Some people use a digger to combine the ingredients, but Kate has an earthier, more traditional method.
And how are we going to mix this all together?
In days gone by, they would have used a horse or a cow to actually stamp on the material, partly because the heaviness of the animals would have crushed the materials down, but we're actually going to stamp on it with our feet. And I'm going to have a little dance and mix this stuff up.
As far as mixing goes, there's no specific technique. Cob dancing is strictly freestyle.
Okay, so the third ingredient is straw, and it helps, it regulates the rate it dries out at.
Okay.
So I'm going to add some straw and we're going to do the twist. Okay, that'll do.
Okay,
Twist it
twisting.
up, twist it up.
I'm not sure Chubby Checker had this in mind back in the 1950s. It's a shame Charlotte is missing out on all this fun, but the building team have already worked up a hunger. Back outside, the cob pizza oven is ready to be built. Kate starts off by making a mould from sand around which the cob will be arranged. Then it's time to start adding the cob layers. The first layer is formed of cob bricks, shaped by hand. A hole for the oven door is cut, and then a second layer of slightly wetter cob is added. This outer skin gives the oven its strength and is smoothed over for a perfect finish. The final step is to remove the door and scrape out the sand from the inside.
Good, yeah, keep going.
Right, Kate.
Is that the lot?
Yeah, what do you reckon?
How's it look? It looks
Have a
really
look.
nice from the
Have a
outside.
look.
Oh, yes. Well done, guys. Amazing. Well done.
Thank you, Kate. I am so hungry.
Well, the oven is up to temperatures, good 700 degrees.
Lovely.
Pizza dough's ready. Let's
Lovely.
eat pizza.
Wendy and Nigel's oven still needs to dry, so the pizzas are being cooked in Kate and Charlotte's larger cob oven. The thick, earthy walls absorb the heat well, and at 700 degrees, the wood-fired pizzas are ready in less than a minute.
Hey, look at that!
Wow.
Yay.
Well done. Well done.
Woo. Thank you. And
Oh,
it's just...
this is beautiful. Oh, well done, chef.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Well done with your oven.
It's just been fantastic.
Brilliant.
So thank you very much.
It's been lovely to meet
Thank
you both.
you very much.
For our next house, we're travelling to Fakenham, a 20-minute drive to the North Norfolk Heritage coastline. Often referred to as the gateway to the North Norfolk coast, the historic town is blessed with a variety of shops and services. There's been a weekly market here since the 13th century. The next property is situated just outside of the town on a quiet lane within an exclusive gated cul-de-sac.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Golly. Wow.
Well, that's different.
It's big. Golly gosh, it's all new, isn't it?
So it's a fairly new build.
It is.
And they are rather nice, aren't they? It's a nice area. Look, this lovely little area. And it's gated.
Can't wait to get inside.
Yeah.
Before we go inside, Nigel, let's mention the garden. We can see a bit of it here.
Yes, there's definitely more here.
Whether it's enough
There's a
or
bit more.
not,
We'll see.
we'll talk about later.
Yeah, good.
But let's go and see inside first.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Part of a community of properties, this architect-designed chalet house maximises the natural light with full-height windows, and there's underfloor heating throughout, freeing up valuable wall space where there'd normally be radiators.
Oh, yes. This is nice. It's nice and big. It's big enough for us. It's lovely. I like the fact you've got light there.
Like three
here.
sides.
I know.
There, yeah,
And that's a
triple
theme
aspect.
throughout the house. They've really, really thought about making it as light as possible.
I like light.
Windows everywhere.
Yeah.
I think you'll be even more pleased when you see the kitchen.
Oh, please. Oh, this is nice.
How's this for a kitchen?
This is Wendy's kitchen.
It's lovely. It's lovely.
This is smashing. It's really, really good.
Isn't this gorgeous? And they've done it beautifully.
Yeah. As a family, this is where you'd be a lot of the time. And you look straight out into the garden. For me, that's a bonus.
Now it's just the upstairs to show you.
Let's
The
do it.
bedrooms.
Let's go.
The kitchen has struck a chord with Wendy. In addition, there's a spacious utility room to hide the white goods and access to a large double garage at the front of the house. Across the hallway, there's a decent-sized study and a cloakroom. Upstairs, there are 4 bedrooms, all set into the roof space, with large windows and built-in cupboards, along with a family bath and shower room.
So this is the master, which has got an ensuite and lots of built-in cupboard space.
Whoa.
And this is the main part of
Oh,
it.
my word. I love it. Oh, my
Wow.
God.
This is enormous. You've got a lot of ceiling height, which is
Oh,
what
I
we're not
like
used to
this.
that, are we?
Oh, isn't it nice?
You like this?
I like it.
I know.
What about you? Do you like it?
Yeah, I like the whole package.
Really?
Yeah.
That modern
Oh, I
design?
don't like it
Yeah,
at all.
it's all clean and crisp.
That's
and,
why you're crying.
I know.
You hate it.
I hate this place.
But it's
I
a
love
big
it.
enough house for us, and it's a big enough house for when the family come.
Should we go outside and discuss how
the
much you
dreaded-
think this might
Ah,
cost?
Struth. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Before we talk money, Nigel needs to see more of that garden, which wraps itself around the entire house and is largely laid to lawn, with a selection of mature trees and bordered by a wall and fencing.
Now I want your opinion on the garden, Nigel.
The garden's pleasantly bigger than I thought it was going to be when we first arrived, because we came down that side there, which is fairly narrow, and I thought this back position was going to be the same again. But it's good. It's a wraparound garden, but a wraparound garden we could do lots of things with. And we got trees. We love trees. Trees are
Beautiful trees.
Beautiful.
Lovely chestnut at the front.
good. Yeah.
Let's just have a pleasant think about how much this house is on the market for.
exactly. Yeah.
Are you going first?
You can go first this
Oh,
time.
darn. I love it. I think it's a gorgeous place, and I'm going to go for 420. Okay.
Same
Right.
again?
I'm going to be very optimistic and say 395.
Okay.
You wish.
I wish.
He does wish.
Yeah.
It is actually currently on the market for 415,000, so I have gone a little over budget.
Yeah.
It was on the market for £450,000, so it's been reduced already. And I had a word with the owner, and she said that she is willing to have a chat about maybe taking it nearer your budget.
It's a nice house. I like it very much.
Why don't you go and have a look at the rest of the house? Think about it now that you know the price.
Okay.
And I'll meet you up front.
Okay,
thanks. Thank you.
Nothing negative. Nothing negative. It's brilliant. This could be it. This could be it.
Over budget by £15,000, the owner of this stylish modern chalet house is open to offers. The light and spacious accommodation includes an open-plan kitchen diner for Wendy, 4 good-sized bedrooms for when the family come to stay, and a wraparound garden for Nigel.
Oh wow, this is big.
The ceiling again. This is like a second master.
I love this house. Everything about it so far is ticking the boxes. I was concerned when Nigel saw the garden from the side view, and I thought, uh-oh, this is going to be no deal. But having come through this gorgeous kitchen out into the back of the garden, I think it's sold.
You have to have an emotional contact with the place as soon as you go into somewhere. And we both had that connection.
I got emotional basically because it's the kitchen I would love. Yeah. I see our family here, great times together, and it's a kitchen I can work in. It's fabulous.
Well, now you've seen everything, do you both still love it?
Yes.
Yep. It's a lovely, lovely house.
Could it be the one?
Possibly.
Could well be.
Being very cautious. Well, lots to discuss, and we've got more properties to see tomorrow.
Okay,
But it's been a good day,
Good.
hasn't it?
Very good.
Been
Very
lovely.
productive.
Thank you.
It's the second day of our property search, and with a budget of £400,000, we're helping recent retirees Wendy and Nigel, originally from Radlett in Hertfordshire, find a rural haven in Norfolk. Coming up, the mystery house, which involves making tracks to get there.
I love steam
We like
trains. We got small. I love them.
And I meet the team dusting down our national treasures to look their best.
Some very intricate dusting
Yes,
going on.
very intricate.
Now, what can I tell you about the mystery house? Well, with the other homes, we've tried to accommodate the family that they're going to be leaving behind. But the mystery house, well, that's really more of a property just for Wendy and Nigel.
For our final offering, we're heading to the town of Wells next to the sea, right in the middle of the North Norfolk Heritage coastline. But our journey to the mystery house is beginning slightly differently than normal.
This is brilliant.
The Wells and Walsingham Light Railway is a heritage line running between the coastal town of Wells and the inland village of Walsingham, along the trackbed of a former standard gauge line.
A mystery ride to the mystery house.
It's a big kids' love affair with trains.
Has it given you any ideas of what the mystery property might be?
Oh, the railway station, perhaps?
Oh, could it be?
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
We're getting off 4 miles down the track at the village of Little Walsingham.
That was lovely.
Our mystery house awaits. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was fabulous. Thank you.
The medieval village has changed little over the centuries, with pretty age-old timber frame buildings lining the narrow streets. Walsingham is affectionately known as England's Nazareth due to its religious shrines in honour of the Virgin Mary, housed in both Anglican and Catholic churches, attracting pilgrims from around the world. As well as spiritual refreshment, the village has a number of cafes and restaurants and a popular farm shop.
So that train has taken us straight to the mystery house, because there it is. It was built by the railway company for the level crossing guard in 1865.
Oh, right.
So it's an old railwayman's cottage.
1865? Mm-hmm. Oh, my word. Well, it does look it. It's been...
It has been modernised,
Yes.
only a couple of years ago, actually.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I think it's really pretty.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
very nice.
And we are very close to the sea. We're 4 miles.
Oh, that's good.
Lovely.
That's good.
Should we go in?
Yes, please.
This property is the closest to the heritage coastline we've seen, but homes here attract a premium, so the former railway signal cottage is the smallest of the houses I'm showing our buyers. There's more than enough room for Nigel and Wendy. The visiting family might have to get the camp beds out.
So you come straight into the living room.
Okay.
What kind of okay is that?
Okay, small.
Yeah, this house I felt would be more something for the two of you. Yes, there's room for family, but it is a smaller house. And the advantage of having the smaller house is that we've been able to show you something a lot closer to the sea, which you were quite keen on.
Yes.
We are very keen
yeah.
on being near the sea.
Okay.
Go and see the
Right.
kitchen.
Lovely.
To maximise space, the cottage has been built onto at the back, and the rest of the ground floor rooms are located in a one-storey timber extension.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As you can see, a very modern kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
You
very
can tell
modern.
it's been done recently.
Yep. Very nice.
I think they've done really well with the way they've used the space, because it could have been this very narrow kitchen, but actually
Yeah.
they've arranged it well.
No, it's beautiful.
And then
I
you've
like
got
it.
Yeah.
the sort of breakfast dining area here,
Space.
Yeah.
There's space.
No.
which looks straight out onto that sun
That's
patio
nice.
area.
Yeah.
I like that. That's lovely.
So a bathroom, is that a
Yeah,
bathroom?
just through,
or-
exactly. Through the kitchen is a bathroom and actually a bedroom.
Okay.
You could use it as something else, as a study, but at the moment they use it as a bedroom because this is a 3-bedroom cottage.
Okay. It's cosy. It's nice. I like it.
I'm not feeling it's big enough at the moment, but let's
See the
see
upstairs.
the rest.
Okay.
As well as the ground floor bedroom, there are 2 further double bedrooms in the upstairs of the old cottage, both cosy doubles, plus there's also a small shower room.
I think this would probably be your master, but all
Okay.
3 bedrooms are about the same size.
Right.
I know what that right means.
Yes.
It's too small, Sonali.
That's small. It's very
It's-
pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautifully done.
And quite a sizable terrace out that way.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Golly. Wow. That's nice.
So my pitch, do you want something for just you two? I think that's a resounding
I think
no,
that's
isn't it?
Possibly a no-no.
Yeah. We want more space.
It was always going to be a gamble bringing our buyers here, but in the list of priorities, clearly space for the visiting family comes before proximity to the sea. I have one last play, and that's the garden, which is surprisingly large, laid to lawn and enclosed with both a summer house and a man shed.
Whoa.
It's a nice-sized garden.
It's a big-sized garden.
Yeah.
I never expected to see so much garden.
So from here, you can really see the extension
Oh, yeah.
and the old cottage. Sort of the best view of it, really.
It's very clever how they've done the extension,
Mm.
the kitchen and the bedroom and bathroom.
Because you can't see it from the front.
No, you can't tell.
So it
because
does
it's
look
quite
like that
secluded.
cottage.
It's quite, yeah.
No,
right.
it's
No,
very
quite
well
clever.
done.
How much would it cost you?
I'm not going first.
Shall I go first?
You go first. Yeah.
3 bedrooms
Mm.
on a decent-sized plot, I suppose.
The garden is nice, isn't
Yes, the garden, a blank canvas, really. 340.
it? Okay.
Whoa, I think that's optimistic. Yeah. I'm going to go 375.
Wendy's very close.
Oh,
Really?
God, I did it.
379,950 it's on
Hey.
the market for.
Hey.
Right.
So you would have 20,000 from your
Right.
budget, but judging by your face, Nigel, that's not enough.
Nowhere near.
No. Do you want to go in and have a look at the rooms you haven't seen?
Okay,
Okay.
And
thank
I'll
you.
meet you out the front
Right.
Okay.
by the
See you
train
later.
station.
Okay.
Under budget by £20,000, our mystery house is a former railwayman's cottage, which has been extended to the rear and finished to a high spec throughout. There are 3 bedrooms, including a downstairs guest room and a spacious garden, and it's just 4 miles from the stunning North Norfolk heritage coastline.
It's a beautiful cottage, I have to say. Beautifully done, but it's too small. It is too small. Beautiful little village down the road. Great. 4 miles from the sea. I'm beginning to think, are we mad, you know?
It came over as a very, very nice holiday home in a good location, but I didn't get the feeling you'd come to live here as a family home. I think you'd come to live here for a short period of time. That's just the overall impression you get from the house.
Well, we've seen all the houses.
Yep.
I think I know which is your favourite.
Yeah.
But are you going to go for it? Let's find somewhere warm to discuss.
Yes, please.
Set in the tranquil Norfolk countryside is a magnificent red brick mansion, just one of a number of fine stately homes that can be found in the county. Surrounded by ancient yew hedges, Blickling Hall has a history stemming back several centuries. During its long life, the estate has been home to a number of distinguished residents, including a medieval monarch and a Tudor Queen of England, but it's now in the care of the National Trust. I've come to find out more about the property's past, but also about its present, and how on a daily basis the Trust goes about preparing its treasures for the public. It's an hour before the doors open, and I'm meeting house manager Jan Brooks-Bullen.
Jan, what a magnificent estate.
Isn't it? Yes.
And over the years, I understand lots of illustrious people have lived here.
Yes, illustrious, infamous, famous. There's been activity on this site for about 2,000 years. King Harold owned the estate, and of course the Boleyns had the
Yes.
estate, so they're probably the best known.
It was Anne Boleyn definitely born here.
Oh yes, yes. There's been many sort of myths and legends about her birthplace, but research has now shown that the birthplace is here and not Hever Castle.
And now, this all belongs to the National Trust.
It does. It was bequested by the 11th Marquess of Lothian in 1940.
And how many visitors do you get here
About 150,000.
a year?
Ever increasing, yes.
Is it hard to get it ready for them every day?
Yes, it is. The girls start very early, but they're already underway. So if you want to see how we get going,
Of course.
let's go and have a look.
Since it was built, the Grade 1 listed mansion has been updated most extensively during the 18th century, which saw the addition of grand staircases and opulent state rooms. To maintain Blickling's historical integrity, every morning a team of up to 9 conservation assistants have just 3 hours to prepare 25 spaces for the public. Daily jobs include vacuuming the 48 treads on the main staircase and brushing precious artefacts to remove the property's biggest enemy, dust.
Here we are in the brown drawing room, where Louise is actually busy getting the furniture ready for today.
Oh, yeah. Some very intricate dusting
Yes,
going on
very
there.
intricate.
Hi, Louise.
Hello.
I love these tools.
Yes, my brushes that I've got here, although I'm not using too many of them today. This is one of our really soft brushes. Did you want to have a feel?
Oh, yeah. And what's this good for?
This is good for our really quite delicate surfaces. So I've been using it just on the metal edges there, looked a little bit dusty.
You're preparing these rooms for the visitors themselves,
Yes.
but presumably they're the ones bringing in some of them.
Yes, we all bring in dust. Even those at work here bring in their own dust. But it's strange. People laugh when we talk about dust so much. I've even been to a dust conference, would you believe? But it's the biggest impact on furniture and furnishings.
As well as looking unsightly, dust can cause physical damage and, if left to build up, becomes sticky, binding itself to an artefact. Another potential hazard is light, both natural and artificial. The fading effect on precious paintings is well known, but light can even fade ebony and damage textiles. When the property is closed, rooms are kept in almost total darkness. By opening time, 91 blinds across the house must be raised, such as in the Great Library with its rare collection of 13,000 books and manuscripts.
Now, because we're south-facing, we only really want to take up the blue blinds today, because it's very bright.
The library's blue blinds act as blackouts, whereas the cream blinds, which Jan is leaving down this morning, reduce the light intensity to a safe level for the books. And a special film on the windows filters out harmful ultraviolet light.
Sometimes it's quite gloomy. You can take them up quite a lot higher, and you can take the cream ones up as well. But today, no, we've got sunshine, which is great.
And it's that balance, isn't it, of being able to see the collections.
It is.
And also not letting too much light in. When people were living here, would they have been letting too much light in at that time? Or?
Possibly not. If you've paid a lot of money for your silks
Yes.
and fabrics, you're not going to let the sun fade them, are you?
No.
So we're just carrying on that really historic housekeeping.
As well as cleaning and lighting, part of the housekeeping duties include decorating the public rooms with seasonal flowers. I'm helping staff member Joe Pipe with a final floral flourish. The arrangement takes pride of place beneath the man who had quite an impact on Blickling's most famous resident.
Henry looks pleased.
He does, and I think our visitors will be too.
Opening time, but in less than 24 hours, Jan and her cleaning team will be doing it all over again.
Over the past couple of days, Wendy and Nigel seem to have agreed on most things. So the question is, are they on the same page about the next move? Wendy and Nigel, you know what I'm going to ask. What are you going to do next?
Well, I think it's fairly obvious from the journey we've just had
Yeah.
through the various houses. There's one in particular that stands out for both of us.
Yes, really does stand out.
That modern chalet.
Yeah.
A modern chalet, yes.
Love it.
It kind of ticked all of the boxes that we had in our mind. The house itself was fantastic. Possibly a bit more room than we would need, but plenty and plenty of room.
Kitchen. A great kitchen.
That's what won it for you.
It's a very nice house indeed, a very nice house.
It sounds like it really could be the house.
A great contender.
Realistically, we need to have a good look around the town and see what it has to offer us in terms of amenities, which are an important part of the process. And if that turns out okay, well, maybe we'd look to be doing a second viewing. It's all very positive. It's just
Very
But I
positive.
think it's a process we need to go through.
You're being more cautious, I think, than Wendy. Is that fair to say? That
Yeah.
I think you like the house that little bit more.
There we go, the sensible guy.
If it was down to you, would you be already talking to the agent?
I bought it. Bum bum.
Oh, you didn't say that. I think Wendy's is more an emotional response, which is understandable. Mine's just a little bit more measured. It's just how I am.
Well, if Wendy's plan goes to plan, you'll be buying the modern chalet. So will you give me a call when he
Yes.
has come around to your way of thinking
Oh, sure.
and you've moved in,
Yeah.
and then we can celebrate?
That'd be
Fantastic.
great.
We
That'd
will
be
do that,
fantastic.
for sure.
I'll let you
Because
know.
I have a feeling, Nigel, it's going to go
I'm going
Wendy's
to get
way.
dragged into this, aren't I? Thank you for the experience. It's been amazing.
It's been brilliant.
It's been great fun, and we've learnt a hell of a lot too.
If Wendy had her way, she would have already made a move on the modern chalet. It really was the perfect home for them and the family. It had everything they asked for. It's understandable Nigel is a little more cautious, and even though he needs some time, I don't think it's going to be long before they both make Norfolk their home and can unpack those boxes for good. See you next time on Escape to the Country.
Wendy and Nigel did go back to see the chalet house and made an offer which I'm delighted to say was accepted. So we wish them the best of luck with their Norfolk move. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Northern Ireland, Scotland or Wales and would like our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.